And good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Teacher Talks live sessions. And tonight we are going to have another special guest and from Switzerland. Yeah, and actually she's from Greece, but she lives in Switzerland now, and she's a very good educator, and also she is a very good teacher trainer. And right now she is, as I said before, she is in Switzerland, and she is as an English teacher, and most of you know her from some webinars, some uh, seminars or online events and so on. And her name is Vicky Loras, and when she comes here we are going to have our teacher talk session tonight, and I'm very excited to have here. When she comes we are going to start our live session. And so let me look at her. If she is here, I'll invite her. Yes, there she is. And I don't want to waste time, and I would like to invite her here. Oh, so let me look. She can't. I think we have a kind of a problem. She can't join it. So just a moment. We will come back. Now she is. Yeah. Yes, there she is. Hello. Hello, Vicky.
Everyone.
It's great to see you. It's wonderful to see you
Great to
here.
see you.
And can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can. I can hear you.
Okay.
It's great. It's firstly, I would like to say thank you and Vicky to accept my invitation for Teacher Talks. It's a great honor to have you in this live sessions tonight.
I should be the one thanking you. Çok teşekkürler for the
You're welcome. You're welcome. Rica ederim.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's always nice on Mondays or the next day to see all the talks you've had with the teachers.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we try to do some, the nice things with this live sessions. And if you want, if you are ready, and we can start, and then the audiences, they can join us later. Ready to?
Sure.
Okay. So, and Vicky, I know you, and maybe other people, they don't know you, so that's why I would like to ask this question first. And can you tell us about yourself, please?
Sure. Well, my name is Vicky Loras. I was born in Canada, in Toronto. My parents are originally Greek.
Mm-hmm.
And now I live in Switzerland. I've been living here for the past 12 years almost.
Mm-hmm.
I've been teaching English as a second language or as a foreign language for almost 24 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And I love teaching English literature or other works from other countries in English.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of Greek on the side, and Latin and ancient Greek, but mostly English. Like English is 99%.
I see.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And so, uh, my next question is about your experiences. Can you tell us about your experiences in teaching?
I've had many experiences in teaching, like all of us. Uh, mostly good ones, I must say. Even I've learned even from the bad ones too. Um, I've taught all ages from 2 years old to 72.
Wow.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
or sometimes. Uh, this year, I have mostly adult students. For
Mm-hmm.
some reason, I don't have that many children. Um, I teach at two business schools. That's my part-time
Mm-hmm.
job, and most of my students are private. And this year, we're
Mm-hmm.
having everything online so far. So this has been a very new experience to all of us. Like a lot of
I
us have
see.
taught online before, but this is completely different, like either teaching in person with masks, either teaching online all the time. I see some of
Yeah,
my own students are logging on now, and it's very nice to see them come in.
it's great.
Yeah.
Mm.
And my best Carolyn too, and everybody who's here, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great, chance for us to see, the colleagues and to see the people who knows here
Mm-hmm.
and they're writing their nice comments to you. It's great.
Yeah, thank
It's
you.
great. And Vicky, my next question is about your experience or the favorite moment. It's
Mhm.
like, what was your favorite moment or experience in your own teaching?
Oh, it's
Or sorry, in your own education, actually.
I okay in my own education. Yeah. Well, I remember two teachers with a lot of love. They're probably the reason why I'm a teacher today. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the first one was in Canada, Mrs. Ebbs. She totally saw my love of reading, um,
Mm-hmm.
cultivated that, and she did that with all the kids. Like she looked for their talent and what they liked, and she really cultivated it. And I have found her online, so I'm going to contact her again, which is great. And my second teacher was my teacher in Greece. As soon as
Mm-hmm.
we moved to Greece when I was 8 years old, and it was very difficult
Yes,
because I didn't speak the language very well, and the educational system was completely different. So this teacher, he was just amazing. He was 100 years ahead of his time. He also cultivated my love of reading, and he taught me Greek very well and to believe in myself. And a lot of the things that they both did in their teaching, I have adopted in mine too. Like
I see.
the best in my students. I see some are still joining. It's great. Some of my students from Greece and some from here. Um, it's absolutely fantastic how experiences when you're a student, when you're a little child, can
Mm-hmm.
can have an impact on you for the rest of your life, even if you don't become a teacher. I believe it helps a lot.
I see. Great.
Mhm.
As far as I know, you were born in Canada or
Mhm.
you were moved to Canada from Greece when you were
Uh,
child.
I was born in Canada.
Huh, okay.
My dad immigrated there when he was 16 years old.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
I stayed in Canada until I was 8. Then we moved to Greece, the whole family, and my dad's family still lives in Greece. Of course, his sisters, brothers, nephews,
I
nieces.
see.
And when I was 30 years old, so 12 years ago, I moved to Switzerland. And this has
Mm,
been living the past 12 years.
I see. I'm sure that Switzerland is a great place to
Oh,
live, huh?
it's a beautiful country. It's so beautiful. The people are nice, and you have a lot of opportunities for your life. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I made a lot of my dreams come true here. Like I'm now a PhD student. It's been something I've wanted my whole life.
I see.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, there are
Great.
problems everywhere, but the country really helps you here.
Wonderful. Wonderful,
Yeah.
Vicky. And my next question is about your current business. Can you tell us about your current business and what kind of things you are doing there?
hmm Well, up until last June, my sister and I, we had a language school here in Switzerland, which we eventually closed because we wanted to do different things. Like I wanted to pursue my PhD and continue teaching
Mm-hmm.
course. And also with COVID, we had to close it because there were many problems
I see.
with businesses here in Switzerland, and we decided that's the best. So it was within good reason. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
right now, as I mentioned before, I'm teaching in two business schools. Part
Mm-hmm.
time, most of my work is teaching privately.
I see. Mm-hmm.
So I would say about 80% is private lessons and 20 is teaching at the business schools. Yeah.
I see.
hmm
And Vicky, as far as I know, you have your own language school in Greece. Am I right?
We had one, yes. We closed it in 2009 when we left
Ah,
here.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Mm,
Okay. Okay, thank you.
No.
And my next question is about the teachers. As a teacher trainer, I know that you have been doing, I mean, you have been working as a teacher trainer for a long time. I mean, you are still doing that the job. So,
Mhm.
as a teacher trainer, and what are the characteristics of a language teachers for you?
Um, I've met so many while I've been training them or being trained myself. Um, I think that the characteristics of a good language teacher, a good teacher in general, is when they still want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic and very encouraging when you see teachers, even after 30 or 40 years of being in the business, they still want to learn, which is fantastic. And I believe that's the beauty of our profession, that no matter how many years we've been teaching, we can learn every day. I change my teaching almost every year. Like I think, oh, I shouldn't have done that last year. I'm going to change it. I'm going to do it differently. Or
Mm-hmm.
I meet a new student who has a different kind of style or
Yeah,
different kinds of needs. And I think, oh, I've never had that before. So I try to use this also in my teacher training as well. I
I
like
see.
teachers are open to learning, to
Mm-hmm.
their students, to helping them,
I
because
see.
we are so
Mm-hmm.
many things apart from teachers. We're also the psychologist in some cases,
Mm-hmm.
um, our students' sister, mother for that 1, 2 hours a week. It sounds like an
Yes.
exaggeration, but it's true. Sometimes we are the only people they have.
Mm-hmm. I see.
hmm
Thank you. Thank you, Vicky. And it's like a kind of a, you mean lifelong learning, and we never stop learning. You mean it's kind of a process that we use it for a long time. I see. And my next question is about learner autonomy, which is really important for us, especially in this online, the education period.
Yeah.
So, in it, what is the role of language teachers and in learner autonomy for you?
Well, we are supposed to be the facilitators of this. Um, we're supposed to show our students what autonomy is exactly, how they can do it
Mm-hmm.
for themselves without pressure, of course. For example, I see my students what they're interested in, and I tell them you can build on this. For example, if they like cooking or dogs or cars, they can find things that they can learn English from that are related to these. And this is automatically it's learner autonomy because they're taking their learning into their own hands and saying, okay,
Mm-hmm.
today I'm going to watch a YouTube video about cars in English. It doesn't have to be a long one. I always tell them that, like, learner autonomy, learning for yourself and by yourself, it can be 5 minutes today, 1 hour tomorrow. It doesn't have to be
I
like
see. Mm-hmm.
committing, because I think that's what they're afraid of. They think, oh, I didn't do a lot today. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. Even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, it can help them a lot. I've seen.
I see.
Hmm
Thank you. And Vicky, do you think there is a correlation between teacher autonomy and the learner autonomy?
Um, I think so, because we are kind of like a role model for them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
for example, this is not so much related to autonomy, but I remember, especially when I taught little kids and in schools too, we had a reading time. And I would sit down on the floor with them, and I would read my book too. So
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay, the teacher's reading too. That's great. She's not just sitting around doing nothing or correcting papers. She's doing the same thing we are right now. So they kind of felt comforted in this. And what I do, because I'm a student now too, I'm doing a PhD. They love to
Yeah.
hear my learning process. So they say, "How do you do it?" Like, and I tell them the truth that I'm not always like 100% motivated. Yeah, let's do it. Some days I don't feel like it. Some days I do. And I tell them this. I'm very honest with
Mm-hmm.
them. I tell them
I
what I
see.
motivate myself, how I study on my own, or if I listen to a lecture on YouTube and things like that. So I think that's how teacher autonomy is related to learner autonomy. Or I tell them what I do about my job. For example, how I like to learn for teaching by myself.
Mm-hmm. I see.
And like
I
this.
see. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Vicky. So, my next question is about motivation, Vicky. So, can you give us some practical tips to increase or create motivation in different age groups? As you mentioned before, you have uh, worked and studied with different age groups.
Mhm. Um, like I said, honesty is the best thing. They really appreciate this if we tell them the truth.
Mm-hmm.
We're not motivated 100% all the time, too. And especially, I find now during the virus that a lot of
Mm-hmm.
time at home, like me, I don't go anywhere almost. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's hard to be in the same place and be motivated. So it can be music that motivates
Mm-hmm.
them to study or to learn. Um, it can be rewarding yourself afterwards. Like, okay, now I'm going to sit down and study for half an hour. Even if it's half an hour, it doesn't matter. Afterwards, I'm going to watch something silly on YouTube, or I'm going to eat chocolate, or with a reward, something with a
Mm-hmm.
reward. So there are many ways to motivate ourselves. Or you can join a study group. Like I've joined an online study group that is 24/7. I think it's in New Zealand or Australia. I can't remember exactly where it
Mm-hmm.
is. And we study at the same time. We're just not talking, but you feel like you have company. Or
Yeah.
sometimes I do with my adult students. I tell them, what time are you going to study over the weekend? And they tell me, oh, 3 o'clock on Saturday. Okay, I'm going to do it at the same time. And then we can send each other a message what we did, how much we progressed. And you feel really motivated because somebody else is doing
Mm-hmm.
it at the same time. And you kind of hold yourself accountable too.
Yeah. I see. I
Yeah.
see. Great. Thank
Everybody
you.
joining and writing nice questions.
Yeah, I see them. I see them. You're right. And you can check them. It's okay. We have time. If you want, you can see. If you
As
want, maybe you have. How about, there is a question. How about university adult ages?
Thank you for this question. Um, I can't see the name. Oh, Azra. Yeah, thank you for the question about university students. Um, I teach also students at university at the business school. Like I said, that's what I do with them. Like I ask them, what time are you studying? I can study too. We can study together. Or and I always mention rewards. Like they should reward themselves after a study.
Mm-hmm.
And with anything, they can go walking, they can do sports, whatever they like. You kind of look forward to that time, and you don't even realize when the time passes that you've been studying, and you can go and do your thing afterwards.
I see.
Hmm.
Okay.
I don't know
Thank you. Thank.
if that
I.
answers the question.
I think, yeah, that you. I think the Azra. I think got the answer of her questions probably. Thank you, Vicky. So my next question is like, do you have uh, there is also another question.
Oh,
What is the most difficult part in being a teacher?
oh, it's hi, Costa. Costas is my cousin.
Oh, I see. Wonderful.
Great question. The most difficult part in being a teacher is, especially during these times, uh, being there for your students. Online teaching can be quite challenging, I find, especially if you have a lot of people online at the same time. Our
Yeah.
students are very understanding, though. They know that we can't do everything at that time, but they know that we're doing our best. I think online teaching has been quite a challenge for me this year, especially with a lot of people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when you see that they're asking you questions either in the message box or on WhatsApp,
Yeah.
the thing is to take them one by one and you'll do everything. Yeah, I
I
think
see.
that's the most challenging thing. Or having to teach when you are sick. I know many teachers who have done this before the
Mm-hmm.
virus, even that they've had to go to
Yeah.
school with fever or with a migraine, or that's also quite challenging. Yeah, because sometimes
I see.
schools and administrations are not understanding and say we don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, you are right.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you, Vicky. So, do you have any suggestions to increase interaction, especially this distance education?
Yeah. I've heard a lot about these breakout rooms. I've participated in them too. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
all rooms that the students go in twos or in threes. I find that particularly difficult to follow because I'm not sure what they're doing there. I mean, most of my students are adults. I know that they're trying to do something, but I don't know if they've understood the task 100% or if they feel like they're doing
Uh-huh.
something. Also, I cannot monitor their progress in these breakout rooms. So, what I do is, and I'm not saying it's the perfect thing, but I find it quite helpful, is when I have a lot of people online, we do like little tasks in pairs, like speaking
Mm-hmm.
tasks,
Yeah.
Cambridge style. And I always tell them, I tell the rest, okay, you're there. I know you can't do anything, but I'd like you to listen to the people talking and take notes and just give them some constructive feedback. What could they do better? Or what did you like that they did? And I see when I give them this mini role of the teacher, they like it,
Mm-hmm.
they pay
Yeah.
attention. Sometimes it's hard, after 3 hours, you think, oh man, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So they like and they pay attention and they also learn from the other students in their class. Like they say, oh, great, I liked what Martina did. I had no idea I could do that in speaking, or I liked what she said about that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
I
see.
try to live like that.
I see.
Hmm.
Thank you. Thank you, Vicky. There,
My
someone has
mhm.
written something here. I mean, Nilgün, thank you, Vicky. What you said about motivation is just so real. Sometimes just a simple chocolate may be a great reward because we, the teachers and the students, are just human beings. Yeah, I
Nil
think totally.
is absolutely right. Nilgün, thanks so much for this comment. It's
Yeah.
something that sometimes we forget,
Uh-huh.
even about our teachers. We think we're superheroes and we can do everything. It's a bit that we can't sometimes. And I
Exactly.
think
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for schools and administrations to understand this too, that we're not superheroes, we're humans too. Uh, During our time off, we need that time off, or
Mm-hmm.
we say that we need help, we need that help. And the schools and administrations need to stop looking at the teachers and the students as numbers. Like, yeah, we have so many students, we're so great. Of course, yeah, they need this financial reinforcement to keep working, but don't forget, and that's what we did with my sisters when we had our language schools, the one in Greece and the one here too. We never forgot that our teachers and our
Uh-huh.
students are human beings. Like, if sometimes our
Yeah.
students to us
Eh,
and
yeah.
this, you know what, today I'm not in the mood, I have this problem, I am
Mm-hmm.
so stressed about my work or about. So I encourage them. I tell them, do you want to talk about this? Of course, I'm confidential. I don't go around telling people what they've just told me. So they're telling me about their problems in English. They're practicing their English. They're getting it off their chest too,
Yeah.
their problem. Or if they don't want to tell me, which is absolutely fine, I ask them, okay, what would you like to do today? If you don't want to do grammar, it's absolutely fine. You're not in the mood. You didn't sleep well yesterday. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay. Like, the world is not going to end because we didn't learn the present perfect like we were planning today. We're going to do speaking. It's going to be great. You're going to learn so many things. And that's what I've learned.
Uh-huh.
In the
I
beginning
see.
of my career, I wasn't so flexible. I was thinking, oh, I shouldn't uh, deviate from the lesson plan. It's going to be a catastrophe. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's kind of a, you should be it's kind of a tailor, right? You should like just find the best way to follow it.
And what Neil
Exactly.
just said is something that we should print out and stick on our wall. Like, we're human beings. Thank you, Neil Gun, for this.
Thank you very much, Nilgün, also. And there is a question,
Mhm.
if you can see it from Azra again. If we do research about comparison between online interaction system and in-class interaction system, what is the most important gap between them?
Azra, that's a very good question, and it's a really big topic. Um, I think the one of the important gaps is about feedback. How do we give feedback? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
in class, we can do it at that moment, or at the end, we can tell our student, so and so, John, can you stay afterwards and I can tell you something? Now, with the online, it's kind of, sometimes I feel like we tell them, goodbye, everybody, have a great. I wave at the screen and we turn off
I
the
see.
computer.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've tried to encourage them to do is
Mm-hmm.
I tell them, if you like, after we shut down the classroom and everything, the online Microsoft Teams or Zoom or whatever we're using, you can stay around and talk to me and tell me things. Or if I want to give them feedback, constructive feedback, like Oksan says, hi. Uh, I think that's the one of the important gaps in the two, Azra. I think giving feedback and getting it from our students, um, it's two different worlds. We should try to encourage. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I,
That.
yeah, with my teaching, giving
I
feedback.
see. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Azra, for the question also. And Burak Aydın, PhD, PD says, I love the idea of less is more, especially for online teaching. And what is your big principle for today's teaching situation?
Um, Hello, Burak, and thank you for the question and your comment. I think that we should be very flexible and understanding, and also as teachers and to our students, that it's a different situation. We've never been through something like this before, like a global pandemic. It's the first time
Yeah, exactly.
we've had this, and a lot of people say it's not the same. Yeah, it's not. It really isn't. But we should be very flexible with ourselves, that we're doing our best under these conditions. We're doing our very best. We are fighting against systems, internet
Mm-hmm.
not working, administration not helping us with tools. They say, yeah, you find something there and teach them online. Goodbye, bye bye. Do
Bye
your,
bye.
yeah, and you think, oh my God, yeah. Or you could have a very helpful administration that tells you, yeah, we're going to give you training and this and that. Uh, in any case, in this situation specifically, Burak and everybody, I think we should be very understanding and flexible with ourselves, because during the first quarantine, I was also very demanding of myself. So, yeah, I have to exactly replicate what's happening in the on. It's impossible to replicate what's happening in the in-person classroom. We can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes our students don't want to have the camera on. It's absolutely fine. They don't want to show their house. They don't want
Yeah.
to show where they are. It's absolutely fine. And we can't see what they feel like. So I tell them, just send me random moments during the class. How are you feeling today? It doesn't have to be about English. Send me a message. And they tell me, oh, today my boss was very terrible with me and I'm not feeling too good. So they're writing to me in English.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually doing homework there, tricky teachers. But they're also, they're kind of talking about their feelings. And that's the thing. Like, we are in this situation. It's very, very burdening to all of us. We don't
Mm-hmm.
write every day. We have our up days and our down days and all that. So I think we should be very, very understanding, and we're doing the best we can under these conditions. And
I see.
if they don't
Mm-hmm.
learn perfectly something, it's absolutely fine as long as we're all healthy.
Yeah, I agree with you, Vicky. Yeah, I think also the answer also is very satisfying. I mean, like I think the Brock's question.
Mhm.
And yeah, also Brock says couldn't agree more, Vicky. Thank you. The secrets of teachers. Yeah, thank you. And thank you very much for nice questions. I hope this is fine, huh, Vicky? I'm taking the also questions
Oh
from the
yeah.
audiences, and it's a great
Hmm.
thing is. So let me ask you another question. My question is about actually I know that you have you have some writings about the literature in language teaching. So I would like to ask this question to like how can we use literature in language teaching for you?
Oh, in many ways. Not all students like to read. Again, I ask them, what topics do you like? Um, like, I don't restrict them to one book. We're all going to read Moby Dick, or we're all going to read,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe they don't like it. They don't like reading anyway. So how can you motivate them to read something they don't want to read? So okay, I'm kind of lucky because most of my students are private, so I have one or two, and we can read like that together. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't do summaries of books. I know it's a good tool, but I don't do it because sometimes they feel pressured. Oh, after the book, I have to write the summary of a book. So
I
it
see.
immediately takes away the love. Of course, sometimes we are pressured by our schools to do it. The school says, you read this book, you have to write a summary about it. We can do it in a different way. Like, which character did you like? Can you write something about that character? Or what did you like about the plot? Um, we can use movies. Like, one of my favorite books to teach, let's say, is The Book Thief.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a fantastic movie about this book. So I tell them, okay, when we finish reading the book, and we read it in stages, of course, we're going to watch the movie. It's fantastic. And then we can compare and see if the movie's better or the book is better and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
if we have to read a chapter every week, for example, I always tell them something different. Like, can you see, is there a change in the character, in his
Mm-hmm.
personality? Have you seen the change? Or do you like where the book is going? Would you like to change something in the book?
I see. It's
Yeah.
just to make them always to think. I mean,
Yes.
like about yeah. I
Hmm.
see the questions that you ask. Okay, thank you, Vicky.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you. My next question is about mixed ability classes, Vicky. So, what strategies would be effective to handle with the mixed ability classes in learning English as a foreign language?
Um, well, mixed ability can be one of the difficulties while teaching.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's happened to most of us or all of us
Yeah.
quite often. Schools, their budgets don't allow for two classes, for example, and they put everybody together. Or if we're teaching in public schools, there the issue of mixed ability can come up quite a lot because I've
Mm-hmm.
taught public schools as well in Greece. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the thing here is not to kind of separate the people by telling them, okay, you're the strong ones and you're the weak ones.
Yeah.
They know that already. They know if they're not good or good in English,
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. It's a good opportunity to have even the weaker ones with the stronger ones. They can listen to them. It has happened to me many times that they say, yeah, I don't want to talk in front of the class because I'm afraid. I said, okay, you can just listen, no problem. And the listening slowly makes them absorb a lot of English, and
I
suddenly
see.
one day they come out and they speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I have them work in groups too, in different
Mm-hmm.
groups as well. Sometimes they mix even the levels. Um,
Yes.
and I don't pressure anybody to do something that they don't want to do.
I see.
Hmm.
I see. Thank you, Vicky.
My
So
pleasure.
there is also another question. Just let me take it. Should we be aware of multimodality in mixed ability classes?
Yes. Unfortunately, we're like a juggler in these classes, that
Yeah.
we're juggling balls in the beginning, and then somebody's throwing oranges at us, and then apples, and I don't know what. We should be aware of many things. Again, we shouldn't pressure ourselves to do things that we can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can't
I
have
see.
it at an excellent level from day one. Everything takes time. We need to be flexible, open to them, not embarrass anybody, um,
Uh-huh.
not make anybody feel stronger that, yeah, I'm the best and I'm not supposed to be here, or somebody say, oh, I'm not so good, I'm in the weak group. We have to be aware of everything, unfortunately, in mixed ability classes, and it's not our
Mm-hmm.
fault that we've
Yeah.
been given a class like this, and we should do the best with them.
Exactly. I
Mhm.
agree with you. Yeah, it's really difficult job to, the having lesson with the mixed ability classes. As you said, we should be really careful what we say,
Yeah.
what we do about everything that we do in the class. Thank
Mhm.
you. Thank you, Vicky. My next question is about 21st century.
Mhm.
And what will be the skills that people will need in 21st century for you?
Well, I feel like we've been thrown a century ahead with this whole
Yeah,
situation.
yeah,
We've
definitely.
suddenly, yes, we've suddenly been asked to do things that we haven't done before. Um, I think that whatever skills we can get is
Mm-hmm.
is okay. Uh, Even if we have three skills, absolutely fine. We can, if we do these okay, it's great. If we can get more skills, that's also great. Um, I think the most important thing is to continue being a learner as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be a master's or a PhD. It can be a simple course. It can be
Mm-hmm.
a one-off course about something. I don't know. For example, tomorrow I'm going to do a course about Greek Sign Language. Um, I think that's something that will give me something. It will make me think too. So I think whatever skills we can get
Yes.
are great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, I mean, like we should take whatever we can. I mean, like
Yeah.
for it doesn't matter what course or what the
Hmm.
webinars or whatever it takes. I
Yes.
see. Okay, thank you. My next question is also related with this 21st century again. So, do you think that the current way and of educating the children fully prepares them for the needs of the 21st century? If no, what are your suggestions about it?
Mm, it's always great for them to have these so-called 21st century skills, like knowing how to use a computer or computer programs. And we see now with the pandemic, the kids know more sometimes. There's, I have little kids telling me, oh, you can do it that way. It's easier like that. I think, oh my God, yeah. So I'm always, no matter what the century is, I think that the students need values, first of all, like for
Mm-hmm.
their lives. being a good person. It sounds very cliche, and but I really believe in that. Like being a good person, trying to learn, valuing other people's opinions, debate
Exactly.
in a nice way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is great if they can adopt all this new technology coming out, like augmented reality, and you can suddenly have a little character coming into the classroom like a hologram. It's all great, but I think for me, no matter what the age or time in this world, I think
Mm-hmm.
values are the most important for our students to get, first of all.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Thank you. I also, agree with you. And yeah, Sibel Hocam says we as teachers, and what she says, just like have always been teaching the skills that are called 21st century skills now. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely right. See, hi, Sibyl. Um, we've been thrown into this thing whether we like it or not, and I
Ah,
believe we've learned a lot of things. So,
uh-huh.
yeah, I
Okay.
think we're in the
Thank you.
22nd century already.
Yeah, 21st century. Yeah, exactly. So, and my next question is about again teaching, Vicky. So, like, what do you find the most frustrating and rewarding about teaching?
Um, I'll start with the frustrating one so we can finish on a good note.
Okay, as you wish.
Well, the most frustrating thing is the administrations of the schools. Uh, if they don't help us, it has
I see.
happened to me in Greece and in Switzerland that the administration of the school is not helpful at all.
Mm-hmm.
What are we supposed to do? It can be very demotivating. It
I
can be
see.
frustrating. It can actually make you hate your job
Yeah,
at times.
probably.
Yeah.
I see.
Like you think, oh, it's Monday and don't want to go there. I think we can overcome this somehow by thinking about our students. I always think, like in the past, if I had worked with a non-helpful administration, I would think, yeah, but you have good students there, you have good colleagues.
Uh-huh.
Try to think about that. Or can I mention an example of another
Of,
teacher?
of course, of course.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was about 7 years ago. I was invited to a classroom in a public school in Greece, in Larissa. It's a city in the center of Greece. And the teacher there, Aphrodite Gyuri is her name. She's absolutely spectacular. Um, she told me, you're going to come in there and teach 4 classes with me. Would you like to? And I said, sure, I would love that. And
Mm-hmm.
before I went there, she kind of started apologizing to me, like, you know what? Our classroom is not so great and we don't have the latest technology and my school doesn't help me and I buy everything with my own money. And I said, Aphrodite, you don't have to apologize about anything. I've worked with terrible administrations too. Um, don't worry at all. And the thing was, I went into her classroom the next day and I saw crafts of the kids on the walls, everything handmade, colors, happy kids everywhere. And I told her, Aphrodite, this, you've done it. Like, you're so amazing. You fought against the system and
Mm-hmm.
you you have managed to create a classroom that is a dream. It's absolutely fantastic. It's motivating for the kids. It's motivating for you. And Dimitra is here too. She's from Farsala, from a city near Larissa. Hi, Dimitra. It was to be there and to see what a teacher can do with very
Yes.
little money
Mm-hmm.
and her own motivation to give the best to her kids. And it didn't matter that they didn't have the latest technology. Like I told her, at the end of the day, who cares? The kids are happy, they're learning, it's great.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
mhm,
Mm-hmm.
that's the reward
That's
part.
yeah, that's the main point. Yeah, exactly. You said if the kids are happy at the end of the day, that's the rewarding one at the
Yeah.
teaching, as you mentioned.
Mhm.
And I saw someone someone written, probably you saw it. Yeah, we are looking forward to having you back,
Yes.
Vicky in Larissa. It's a great one.
Turgut hocam. Hello.
Yeah, Turgut Hocam is there. Yeah, great. So thank you, Vicky. So can I move to next question? Okay. So my next question is about effective report. Actually, you have mentioned while you are talking about the report, but I'll ask you again, what would you suggest to the teachers to establish an effective rapport with their students? Actually, we are not in a face-to-face classroom right now.
Yeah.
We are having an online education. But what is your opinion about it?
Well, to show them, okay, it's not possible for all teachers to be accessible 24/7. We have families, or
Mm-hmm.
also we need to have some free time too. But it's good for them to know that, you know what, you can send me anything you want, feedback about the class, a comment, a hi, a photograph of your walk or anything. And at some point
Mm-hmm.
I can answer you. So I think that if they know that we are open to them, and
Mm-hmm.
even though we can't see each other face to face, we can't talk as much as we would like to, like we do in face to face classes. We can talk before the class or afterwards. Now it's kind of like, um, at the end of, bye everybody, thanks so much, closes down. So something I've established the past few months is I open up my online classroom 10 or 15 minutes before, and I
I
send them,
see.
they tell me, guys, I know it's early, but just if you want to, I'm here if you need anything. So sometimes they come in earlier like they would in a face-to-face class, and they say, hi, how are you, how was your day, la, la. So it's kind of like a more smooth
Mm-hmm.
addition into the online class. It's not like I'm turning it on exactly at 6 when we start. So they kind of feel great, and I say hi to them when they come in. I say, hi Martina, hi Jessica, how was your day today? So they kind of feel, oh, okay, she can see us coming in, it's great. Oh, my sister
Great.
here too, and my mom.
It's great, great, wonderful. I am sure that's a great feeling to see them here for you, Vicky. Okay, so thank you very much for the answer. So my next question is like, uh, in what ways do you try to achieve a good life and a work balance? Can you explain with examples from your own life, if it is possible, of course?
Sure, sure, of course. um it, and I'm sure a lot of us do this because teachers love to do things generally. Whenever I had like a break in the day, I would say, yeah, how can I fill that in? I'm going to join that voluntary organization, which is great. Or I'm going to write that blog post or that thing. So it was all about work.
Mm-hmm.
And around 2016, I
Yeah.
started to feel that I can't do this anymore. Like doing things all the time that are related to my job. I love it. I loved it then. Too. Hi, Chrissy. Chrissy used to be our teacher in Greece, and she's a very good friend of ours still today,
Wonderful.
closest friends. Um, and I thought, hey, I'm starting to not like what I'm doing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, you can keep the essentials. Of course, we need to work. We need to put food on the table.
Uh-huh.
Regardless of what country we live in, we have to work hard. Um, and things like that. And I saw that the more that I tried to incorporate having free time,
Yes.
I felt much better with myself and with my teaching too.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Because I think I was approaching some sort of burnout at that point because I thought, what am I doing? I have no free time. I feel tired, frustrated all the time. So I think it's
Mm-hmm.
great what we're already doing, but it's so important, really important, to look after ourselves
Mm-hmm.
some time, go for a walk, especially now that a lot of countries are in lockdown or self-imposed
Mm-hmm.
lockdown. are here in Switzerland. If
Yeah.
you want, you're in lockdown. Um, it's so important even to take half an hour, walk
Yeah.
outside, go and talk to somebody, call your family, lie down, sleep, take a nap, eat chocolate, do something for yourself. It's so, so important. I used to think, what is all
Mm-hmm.
this wellness stuff? Yeah, do this. It's so important. It's very, very, very important to take time for
I
ourselves.
see. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mhm. Thank you very much.
My,
Thank you very much also that you share your own experiences with us about the question.
mhm,
Thank you, Vicky.
my pleasure.
So my next question is about the professional development, Vicky. So what are the main ways you pursue professional development and how is that going for you? Can you give some examples if it is possible again?
Oh yeah, sure. Professional development, it can be done in many ways. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we think, oh, it's a course, I don't have time for this. Absolutely. Sometimes we don't have time to do all the courses that we want to do, or all the masters or PhDs or whatever. It
Yeah.
can be reading a book on a specific teaching topic, like, for example, teaching one to one, a book about teaching one to one, or how to teach adults. It can be a little,
Yes.
like 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
half an hour. It can be, I have a blog post about this actually, I could share afterwards. It can be on social media. Um, I don't use social media that much now. I just use Instagram and Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can find there an article that another teacher has uploaded, and I say, oh, great, I can read that. That's also professional development. Or sometimes somebody posts a question. I have this problem. It's professional development because we're also learning. We might give them an answer, but we see
Mm-hmm.
other teachers' answers too. And say, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
do that. So social media, reading books, articles, talking even to other teachers, especially in face to face in the coffee room at school. I have
Mm-hmm.
a problem with this student. How would you handle it? So even this mentoring each other
Yeah.
can be professional development. Yeah, everything.
Exactly. Exactly. For me and also for our listeners, this is a kind of a professional development because we are learning from each other and
Absolutely.
we're learning from you. This is also a good example for it. Am I
Hmm.
right? Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hmm.
Uh-huh. Okay. Thank you
What
for the
Effie says there? Hi, Effie. Effie, friends in Greece, and she's also
wonderful.
a spectacular teacher. She's doing a lot with refugees in Greece.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Hello to there. So there's a one more question, Vicky. I would like to ask you, if it is possible, can you recommend any website that can used on Zoom? I mean, websites about games. Have you got any idea about it, or would you like to give an example? Or maybe
With
later, if you can
sure.
just, yeah,
I can.
if you can share with
Mhm,
me and I can share
mhm.
them. Okay.
I can put
All
some in
right.
my series too. And generally, if the teachers are who are here today would like to connect with me on Instagram or Twitter, I'll be very
Mm-hmm.
happy to follow, learn from them too.
Yeah, wonderful.
Hmm.
And also, as far as I know, you have your own blog page, which is wikilloras.wordpress.com. Is that your
Yeah.
also blog page that you are
Mhm.
using? Mm-hmm.
It's not
Okay.
active anymore, but I'm keeping it like a library. I wrote in it for about 9 years, I think. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
not, no, 7 years. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back to it myself to read things, and if anybody likes to read and give feedback too, it would be great.
Yeah. And I know
Mhm.
that there are many, many, many research or presentations that you have done
Mhm.
so far. So I really recommend to the people who listen to us, the
Mhm.
teachers, to go and read them. They're really great.
Thank you.
Wonderful. You're welcome. And so my next question is about the the novice teacher. So,
Mhm.
what advice and would you give to a new teacher who asks you, "What is the best way for me to keep growing as a teacher?"
Mhm. Um, Keep your eyes and your ears open.
Okay.
Don't be too critical of yourself, I would tell them, because in the beginning, we're also critical. We think, oh, why did I do that? They're still trying out things in the beginning. And to be honest, it never ends. Like, we always keep changing our methods and we always keep doing things differently. So I would advise them not to be critical of themselves. They're trying really hard. It's a new area for them. It's like they're
Mm-hmm.
how to swim and suddenly they throw them into the ocean.
Yes.
And to keep learning in any way, websites and courses, and hang out with other teachers too.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Then nice advice for the new teachers. Yeah. And brave heart, simply be yourselves. Yeah, Turgut Hocam. Thank you.
Amy. Thank you, Eva, too. Hi.
Yeah,
Nice comment.
great one. Okay. And we keep last two questions, by the way. We are almost coming end to
Okay.
our live sessions. Time flies. But it's really great.
Thank
So my next question is this: in what ways can teachers grow by becoming involved in an online professional development community like ITDI or INDET or IATFL or etc.?
Yeah. Um, I've been part of ITDI. For example, I
Mm-hmm.
know from the very beginning. I was there. Unfortunately, I'm not there anymore due to time restrictions. I wish I could. And I was also part of IATFL. I was one of the editors for their business English
Mm-hmm.
selections. The things I've learned there are absolutely spectacular. I met so many people. I learned so many things from them.
Yes.
Uh, and in Turkey, you have so many. It's absolutely spectacular how many teaching associations there are, and
Yeah.
how the teachers work. And I've been to 3 conferences in Istanbul, and there I met so many teachers who were members of various organizations, and they were
Mm-hmm.
learning this and that. And you want to be part of everything, but you can't. Even if it's one organization, you can learn so many things. I learned about my teaching, I learned about editing, things I never imagined I would learn.
I see.
Hmm.
Thank you very much.
My
So
pleasure.
it's very useful for us, for also for professional growth. It's
Yeah.
very useful, I think, to become a part of a kind of a community
Yes.
that takes us from this to there, I think, a kind of a,
And in
yeah,
turn, absolutely spectacular with the teacher
I see.
going.
I see. Thank you. And Vicky, ready for the last question? It's very
Right.
difficult. Okay, it's very difficult. Yeah, we came to almost end. And the last question is, what is your motto?
Oh, my motto.
Very difficult. Yes.
Well, it's not exactly a motto. It's, yeah, you need to try, keep working hard and keep learning.
Mm-hmm.
Keep
I see.
hard, keep learning, and give yourself time off. So important.
Okay. So important.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
My,
Okay, thank you. Great motto. Okay, Vicky. So, and Vicky, would you like to add anything before we end our live sessions? Because we are almost coming end, as I said.
Mhm.
So, yes, it's your turn
First,
here.
huge thank you to you for this beautiful conversation today.
Uh,
It was,
it's my pleasure. A wonderful one. It's a great honor to have you here.
thank you for me as well. Thank you to everybody who came. Teachers I knew, teachers I didn't know, my students from Greece, my students from here, my family. My best friend from Switzerland was here too. My friends from Greece. It's so important to have a support network around you.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what happens, you can always go back to them. Uh, for example, now I see comments from teachers in Turkey that I've met. Thank you,
Yeah.
Emma and Oksan and Sibel, everybody. I've learned and I keep learning so much from them. It's so important for me. You are my motivation
Mm-hmm.
on my bad days, on my good days. And I'm always very, very, very happy to see everybody. And it's great to see everybody here too.
A great one. And someone says, Vicky, you're amazing. Thank you, Volkan. It stays here. And thank you very much also. It's a great pleasure for me to have such a wonderful educators and trainers to have here. It's wonderful feelings for me also to have you. Okay then. So I would like to also say one more time, thank you to accept my invitation, Vicky,
My pleasure.
and to being with us. It was a wonderful live sessions tonight. And also, I would like to say a huge thank you to the people and educators and students who were join and listen to us and support us. That was a wonderful, and I'm sure that we all loved it and this session. And I hope we see each other in another session again soon or later, Vicky.
Me too.
And thank you very much again to everybody.
Thank
And I would like to say good morning to wherever you are, good afternoon or good evening and good night. And see you next week at the same time and the same day. And peace, everybody.
you.
See you next time. Bye bye, Vicky, and bye bye, everybody. Good night.
Goodbye.
Bye.